Hello, I'm Janet Morena, the Executive Director of Priests for Life. Welcome to Just Ask Janet. Well, today's a special day for me. It's my birthday. That's right, October 18th. I was born in 1952, so I am 69 years old today. And you know what? I don't like making a big deal about birthdays. For me, it's a blessing. It means I feel healthy, and God is giving me, another year to be around, and so it's kind of cool. So I didn't schedule a guest for today because I thought I'd like to tell you a little bit about how did I ever get to work with Father Pavone? How did I ever become the executive director of Priests for Life? Okay, so I'm going to give you a little peek into all that. And so here's how it all started. Cardinal O'Connor, of course, ordained Father Pavone on November 12th, 1988. And I, at the time, was a bad girl. I wasn't going to church. My mother-in-law was taking my three young daughters to church for me because we lived in this two-family house in Staten Island. Because I was one of these people who, in high school, in the 70s, I kind of drifted away from the church and from my faith. And so I kind of knew being a Catholic was somewhat important. So, of course, I baptized them. And, I was getting ready, they were still too young. But my mind was I was going to, send them to CCD and get them ready to make their sacraments. But, I was just letting my mother-in-law take them to church. Well, my mother-in-law then started to pray a novena for me. Because at the time, I wanted to become a public school teacher. And guess what? On Staten Island, where I lived, New York City public school system, they weren't hiring. So I started substitute teaching. And my mother-in-law started to pray a novena for me to get a job. Well, on December the 22nd that year, guess what happened? I got a call to go on a job interview for a school that I never even substitute taught in. So it's like, how did they get my name? And the school secretary said, well, I don't know, Miss Morana, but your name was on the principal's desk as a candidate to call to be interviewed. So I went on the interview, and of course, I got the job, which started on January the 2nd. And guess what? My mother-in-law says to me now, you need to go to church and light a candle at Thanksgiving. So that weekend, of course, not doing a thwart God, and it was right near Christmas anyway, I went to church with my family and I lit that candle. And like I said, it was the Christmas season. So then I went the following weekend and so forth and so on. And then, a couple weeks into the job, I'm still going to church. But what am I doing? I'm not receiving communion. Why? Because I don't want to go to confession. I'm like this. I'm not going to confession. No, because I don't like this about the church and I don't like that. And I don't like confession. Until one Mass, I'm at Mass. And at the end of Mass, this young priest, Father Pavone, is at the church exit, and kind of right near him is his confessional. And my young daughter, Tara Lynn, trots yelling to Father Pavone, Father, come here, I want to meet my mother. And she goes, come on, Mommy, I want to meet Father Frank. And as I get a little bit closer, my little daughter says to Father Frank, Father Frank, this is my mom, the one who needs to go to confession. Well, of course, I turned terribly red of embarrassment and was frightened. Oh my God, I don't want to go to confession. But Father Frank was pretty cool. He just wrote on a piece of paper the phone number of the rectory. He says, just give me a call. You don't have to go to confession now. He calmed Tara down. So I took that phone number, shoved it in my purse, and it stayed there nicely for a few weeks. One day I was cleaning up my purse and I saw the number. And I said, let me call this young priest and see what he has to say. So I gave him a call, and basically he invited me to come to the rectory and have a conversation with him. And so I did. And he said, well, Janet, tell me what your issues are, with the church. And I said, well, I don't think I believe in the infallibility of the Pope. And I think women should have a right to take birth control pills. And so I went spouting on and on and on. And so Father Frank didn't yell at me, get upset. But he said, but you seem quite an intelligent young woman. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to ask you to go to confession right now. Why don't you do this? Why don't you come every Friday? I have a nice Bible study. Why don't you learn about the scriptures a little bit and about Jesus? And then after Bible study, we can meet for about a half hour. It's called Spiritual Direction. We have a conversation and we'll see where that leads. So I did it. I went to my first Bible class. I went to my first spiritual direction. And at that, he handed me Humana Vitae, the encyclical. Boom. He said, well, I know you have issues with contraception. I want you to start reading this, and each week we'll start talking about it. So see, he wasted no time. He went right to the heart of things. Well, this bottom of the line is that it took me 3 months of studying and spiritual direction and all that. But by June of that year, I went to confession and received communion, and I've been back with the church ever since, and I'm not going away. So that's my story as to how I kind of came back to my faith. And of course, through Father Pavone, and he was my parish priest for 5 years, very active on the abortion issue. I mean, we used to kid around on Sundays about are we going to hear the A word today? Meaning abortion. How is Father Frank going to preach today about abortion? Well, of course, he did it quite frequently. And it really opened my eyes. And one time I was praying in front of an abortion clinic with Father. And that's really what really impacted me when I saw young girls going inside that abortion clinic to kill their babies. It like, oh my gosh, it's like a door closed behind me and I couldn't go back. I had to do everything I could to help these women, help these young girls so they didn't have to choose abortion. So that's my journey. I continue to teach public school, and I helped Father Pavone as he got involved with Priests for Life and launched being the first full-time director in 1993. I still volunteered. I still taught full-time public school, was raising my daughters. But in the June of 2000, on June the 28th, 2000, was my last day teaching public school because I made a decision to leave the public school system and work full-time for Priests for Life. And of course, they gave me a nice lunch to say goodbye, my colleagues, which mostly were pro-abortion. And at that luncheon, I told them this. I said, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to miss you all, but I am leaving this job to help you, ladies and gentlemen, have job security. Because after all, if we keep destroying the children from abortion, your class size will go down and there'll be less teachers needed. So it was kind of amusing to have to say that to teachers who, as you know, the teachers union always support pro-abortion candidates. So that's my journey. It's been like, oh my goodness, 21 years now of full-time work with Priests for Life, 30 more years that I've known Father Pavone. And it's really great. But wait a minute. My producer is waving at me. Uh-oh, it looks like for my birthday, my staff has a surprise for me. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're going to embarrass me now. They're going to show pictures. All right. Well, I guess I have to describe some of these pictures for you. Well, this is a good one. This is Teresa Tomeo, my dear friend, who is, of course, we co-host together the Catholic View for Women. And this goes back to the very first season of the Catholic View. We went to Rome and we did some interviews. And you see there, I'm holding the mic flag there. It says the Catholic View for Women. And that's right in front of St. Peter's Basilica. So that's a great memory. So thanks, crew. I think they have another picture for me to look at. Let's see what the next one is. All right. Okay. This is at a March for Life. And first of all, you can tell by looking at myself and Father Pavone, we look a lot younger. And let's see, I think this would be about 2005. Because I started the Silent No More Awareness campaign in 2003, and that's Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey. So we all look a lot younger there. That was, oh my gosh, like about 18 years ago. And it was, like I said, it was at the March for Life. Beautiful picture. So thank you, crew. Thank you for that beautiful picture. Let's see what's next. Okay, this also is, let's see, where am I? Oh, I'm in front of by the Supreme Court there. And this is where we have the gathering every year. Oh, this is a good one. This is, this one was, let's see, this would be 2000 and I think it's about 15. This is my very, very, very first book called Recall Abortion. That's Father Frank with me. And we launched the book that year at the March for Life. And I was so thrilled. St. Benedict's Tan Books was my publisher. And who would have thought, write a book? Oh, my goodness. I can remember, when I was in school and the nun would put on the blackboard a topic. and then you had to go write. I used to cringe, like, oh, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And I'm telling you, it was the Holy Spirit. I got to write a book. So I feel truly, truly blessed. Oh, this picture here, this is when we were fighting what's called the Obama's HHS mandate, where they were trying to force ourselves, the Little Sisters, and a whole bunch of other Christian and Catholic groups to put abortion and contraception in our health care. And of course, here at Priests for Life, we do not have abortion and contraception in our medical insurance for our employees. And so we refused to comply to the Obama administration. This was a big rally we had outside of the federal courthouse where Priests for Life, I was there on the inside of the court when our case was heard. And as you know, we made it all the way to the Supreme Court. And it was the election of President Trump that kind of saved us all, because by executive order and working with the Department of HHS, he fixed it so we never have to compromise our morals as an organization and as individuals to include abortion and contraception in our healthcare. So God bless President Trump for that. That was a great rally. Oh, this was again where I had my book with me, and I did a book signing. It was at the, I think, Catholic Information Center in Washington, D.C. And let's see, that's just me and Father. I think that's Father Frank. We're at some event. I don't remember what event, guys, but it's a good one. It was good. Oh, this is when I spoke inside of Congress. I was inside the House of Representatives, and it was what they call a briefing. And I was invited to speak about the Silent No More Awareness campaign, which I co-founded with Georgette Forney. So that's what that event is all about. Let's see what's next. Oh, this is on. This was Father Mitch Pacwa from EWTN, and this was when we were down there taping one of our shows for the Catholic View for Women. And at that, we were invited then to be on the live show with Father Mitch. That was a great picture. Great picture. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And of course, that's Teresa Tamio, Astra Bennett Gutierrez, who were my co-hosts at that time. There's Father Frank and I with Teresa Tamio. And I know where we are. This is where we were in Michigan. And this was for the ordination of Teresa Tamio's husband, Dominic, as a deacon for the Catholic Church. And that's us right before Father got vested for the ceremony. This is where I was speaking at the March for Life in Canada. Up in Canada, I go every year normally pre-COVID to the March for Life up in Canada. Hopefully we'll get to go back there next year. I'm hoping things will normalize more and I can go back. And there we are, back to the beginning of the picture. So, wow, that was a kind of cool birthday surprise for me to go back down memory lane. And, when you think about the past, oh my goodness, what did I tell you? It's been 21 years full-time with Priests for Life, but actually I started helping as a volunteer since Father Frank took over in September of 1993. Who would have thought? So I wrote 2 books, actually. My second book was Shock Waves, Abortion's Wider Circle of Victims, and that was published by Catholic Book Publishers. And if you want to know a secret, I'm just finishing up my 3rd book, which is called Everything You Wanted to Know About Abortion for Teens. And that book will be available next spring. So guess what? Guess what I'm going to do right now? Anyone who's watching for my birthday, if you send an email to orders@priestsforlife.org, I will put you on the list to get the very first few copies as they come off the press, and I'll autograph it to you. So send me an email at orders@priestsforlife.org, and when it's published next spring, I'll send you a copy of Everything You Wanted to Know About Abortion for Teens. So there you go. So it's been a great experience here at Priests for Life. It's kind of funny. I'm doing TV programs now. I did, do Defending Life on EWTN, Catholic Youth for Women on EWTN. Now, Just Ask Janet streaming here. And you know something? When I look back, I say to myself, my goodness, I would never have dreamed to be on TV. Wasn't something I wanted to do. In fact, in college, one of the classes I couldn't stand was speech class. It's kind of comical that here I am now, kind of making speeches, so to speak. And of course, traveling. I think I've traveled to all, but I only have a handful of states in the United States I haven't been to. I think I've been to at least 46 of the 50 states, which is miraculous. I've flown as far as New Zealand, speaking in New Zealand. Of course, I've been to Rome numerous times, speaking at Vatican conferences. I've been to, let's see, let me think, Vienna. I spoke and did classes in Vienna for people. I've spoken in London, England, of course, Canada. I've spoken in Mexico City. I've been to the Shrine of Lady Guadalupe. So I feel at my birthday now, 69 years old, I feel truly blessed. I have 3 beautiful daughters, Jennifer, Tara, and Kelly. They're all married, and I have 4 grandchildren. I have Lily Grace. I have Lucas James. They live on the East Coast with my daughter Jennifer, husband Austin. And then I have 2 other grandchildren that live on the West Coast with my daughter Tara Lynn and her husband Craig. And that's Vivian Rose and Evelyn Leah. So again, I feel like a woman who is truly, truly blessed. So this is my birthday show, birthday surprise. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being part of it. And until next time, where I'll have some more guests or some more surprises for you, this is Janet Marana, Executive Director of Priest for Life. And thank you for my birthday surprise. I will be silent no more. I'm free from the